Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is BC. Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Being. I have my cap on. It's been rainy, so I put on kind of like a little hat. That way I wouldn't look so ridiculous with this. Welcome back. And first, huge shout out to all the support. Really, really love you guys. Appreciate all the positive reviews you've been giving me for the podcast. Distinguished Agent Summit, like I said, coming off of a strong week. I keep getting more testimonials and wins from people from the coaching program, from the event. It's really, truly awesome and spectacular to see. I named this podcast, What Do I Want to Do? And the reason I named it that is every entrepreneur will eventually hit what I call, and it's deemed as the self-actualization phase, meaning you hit a point where money is no longer stressful and anxiety driven for you anymore, meaning you've handled your business when it comes to money and it doesn't have a grip on you mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So now it becomes, what do I want to do? What is my purpose? You know, if I have the choice to do what I want every single day, wherever, whenever, however, what am I going to do? So I'm going to tackle this subject from that perspective, but also maybe somebody prior to hitting this perspective, because I know the vast majority of people that follow me are going to be before that, right? They're going to be the pre-self actualization phase people because, hey, like I was for probably a couple years when I started in real estate. You know, it takes time to hit that point. And for everybody, it's different. For some people, it's more money. For other people, it's less money. But you won't know until that happens, until you've hit it. We don't realize how so deeply embedded insecurities and issues around money and anxiety and stress and all these factors that we deal with are so embedded into your system as an individual on this planet living in today's world. I mean, it's pretty sad, especially if you were like me and like most people, where you grow up and you see a lot of suffering and lack and poverty around you, right? So let's get into it, right? One thing I would tell you is this: if you're in the phase like I was, where you're pre having handled it, meaning you're still having issues with money, you're not in a good position with money, right? You still have to think about it. You still have moments where maybe you're really stressed, coming up short on bills, chasing and avoiding, bill collector calls, or barely scraping by every month, where maybe you're okay, but you're one disaster away from being in ruins. This is what I recommend for you. When I got into entrepreneurship and real estate, I really had to sit down with myself because I recently had closed a chapter, and to me at the time, it was unfairly ended and closed because of injury. I had to stop playing professional basketball. And my dream from age, 11, 12, was to play basketball professionally in the NBA. I played in college and got scholarship. I played professionally for many years in Europe, South America. So I almost got to where I wanted to get. However, at age 24, 25, my career was cut short after my second major ankle injury and surgery, the second surgery of which left me on crutches and not being able to walk for months. Okay, by the time I took the cast off, my leg had atrophied and my left shin and leg looked like a noodle, right? It was actually scary. It scared the shit out of me. All right. Dream done, 24, 25 years old, not playing basketball anymore when that's all you think about, dream about, and live. Your whole existence revolves around it. It's taken away from you. What do you do now? So a lot of soul searching was required even prior to entering the real estate business. And I would say, even though that was one of my greatest downfalls, we can say at the time, I would consider it that, even though we can really say it wasn't, because I have no control over injuries, right? I got some of my biggest revelations from it simultaneously. That's the beauty in that polarity, right? What was the darkest time led to the brightest day. It forced me to get clear with myself, because even though I didn't have a full clarity when I stepped out of it, it forced me to address a lot of things about where my life was going to go, what my purpose is, what my potential is, and those things that, unless we're met with disaster like that, a lot of us won't stop to take the time, especially in our younger days, because who cares about that when you're young, right? We're taught party, live it up, escape reality, and then deal with adulthood in quotes in your 30s or when you're done with school, which is like the worst advice you can give people. However, it's the common advice that's given to everybody. So if you're in that pre-phase like I was, you really need to say, okay, who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? Start with that. What are some of the traits I see in the future version of myself that I can look at now and observe if we're watching a movie, right? If we're sitting in a movie theater and I'm watching the movie of my life, what would I have? Who would I be? What would I be doing? How would I walk, talk, that I would look at and watch and smile and be proud? What would I have? What would my day look like? Where would I live? Who would the people be around me? How would I be spending my time and my days? What would be my career path then? These are some of the questions to begin this process. Now, we typically will answer these with the cliche answers. Oh, I want to be a millionaire and all that. But you have to really stop and say, is that really what you want? Truthfully. Or is that just what the influencers that you're following are demonstrating to you? Is that really what you want? Do you really want that? Are you sure? Right? You need to have these intimate conversations and intimate analyses with yourself. Because if not, you're living somebody else's life. You're working somebody else's schedule. You're achieving someone else's dreams. And that's what will lead to you having a lack of motivation, lack of drive, and all these things that the average person deals with. Most of us are living lives not by our own creation and design. It's by beliefs, philosophies, goals that have been given to us systematically by other people without our realizing of it, without our realization. So we have to systematically take that power back, decode it, and then from within, set these things in motion from you, not from me, not what you think I recommend you do or what someone else does. You can get advice and counsel from other people like myself, sure. But the ultimate decision maker and authority needs to be you and the creation and what's going to happen next. And you have to start with that, because then from there, anything you see on the way becomes a building block to get you there. Like me, when I was going through my licensing process, I was taking little side hustles and jobs to save up a ton of money so that when I started in real estate, I could have a little bit of savings and go full time. And I was making a ton of sacrifices. Same thing with me getting coaching and a mentor, like even right before I got my license, because I knew that was instrumental to my growth. And I was willing to pay that price and make that sacrifice. But I did this soul searching prior to even starting that process to have a pretty good idea of who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And it starts with that. If not, you're just going with the current trend. You're getting caught up in the YouTube ecosystem. You're following the today's influencer, right? Maybe yesterday it was me for real estate. Now it's this new guy that's being pushed by the algorithm. I don't know. But that's not going to do anything for you. You're getting caught up in the same cycle that everybody else is. Oh, what did he say to do? Oh, it's this guy and this guy. And then everybody repeats the same bullshit, the same quotes, the same basic foundational advice, repackaged with a different, catchphrase and catch line and pyramid this and that. And it's all the same shit. I have people excitedly sending me stuff that I'm like, dude, I covered that on a YouTube video 9 years ago. What are you doing? Why are you excited that you didn't pay attention a decade ago and you feel like you're learning something new when you're not? Wake up. You're just constantly, again, floating. You're not doing anything productive. But that's what happens when you don't move with purpose and you don't move with clarity. Success, freedom, abundance, impact. All those things were important to me and continue to be. Maybe they're not for you. Maybe they are. But what does that look like? Your definitions of those things, what do they look like? Are you crystal clear? You want to move with purpose and conviction? You need an answer to those clear, concise answers. And not that you turn into me for homework. This is you with you. Let's start there. That's our foundation. Okay? So that's a little bit for the people in this pre-self-actualization phase. Let's say you are listening to this. Money is not an issue, a crutch, anxiety, stress-filled. You've built some cash flow and now you're like, damn, I feel myself kind of losing some steam and motivation because I've already achieved what I wanted to achieve. I don't know what's next. Interesting position to be in, isn't it? Because now you've achieved everything you wanted to achieve like you claimed before, but suddenly you're not as fulfilled as you thought you would be, or you're not happy at all, or you may be depressed and sad and feeling empty inside. Now you've just been, I could say congratulations, you've just been presented your next level of challenges and obstacles in life. Congratulations, my friend. Welcome to the club. I've been there. Why do you think the last couple years I used to be so about cars and I'm not anymore? For those of you who have been around for more than 3, 4, 5 years, it's a part of this phase. That's a part of the self-actualization phase. So welcome. What are some things you can do about it? Well, we need to go back and assess and say, now that I have the money and the success and this level of stability, what's next? What is my purpose as a human being on this planet? If money was not an issue, this is the question. Write this down and ask yourself this until you can come up with better answers, and ask yourself this question at least once a week, if not minimum once a month. If money wasn't an issue, what would I be doing right now? Would I be working my career? What would I be doing if money wasn't an issue? I had all the money I needed in the world to fund whatever lifestyle I wanted. What the hell would I be doing? And please don't give me the cliche answer that you're sitting on a beach drinking margaritas with a little umbrella in your cup, because that's bullshit. You hear that in movies, but nobody wants to do that. Come on, get real. What would you be doing, right? Because at the very least, if you figure that out, now we can create a systematic process to get you there. Because everything you do moving forward, just like in the previous example, feeds towards getting closer to your purpose. You know why I wanted to do the car things? Because I still appreciate cars. I still appreciate cars tremendously. But I knew infiltrating the car world would get me connections and recognition and access to people and things that otherwise I would not be able to get access to. And number two, would help me get closer to my purpose. So I hit it hard and I jumped in that world and I did all the damage that I needed to do to get to where it is I am today. It's that simple. You now are looking at things deep within your soul to find your purpose. What is it? Legacy? Freedom? Generational wealth? What do you want? Recognition? To be number one at what you do and get all the accolades and praise from the world? You want to be a celebrity? I don't know, right? I'm just throwing things out there. What do you want? Legacy was a big one for me. I would tell people, by the time I exit this existence and I breathe the last breath of this body and vessel that I'm in right now, the world will know the Casella last name for sure. And every day I'm working closer to getting that more and more. Now, a big chunk of people know this name. Now, is it the world? No, not even close, but we're going to fight to get there. Simultaneously, the impact that I leave on my students and the people who are close to me, that increases on a daily basis. And I want that to be increased 100-fold, to where the ideas and the impression that I leave on them echoes for generations, almost like Achilles when we talk about the old battles of Greece and the Battle of Troy and all that stuff. That's cool, to where they make a movie about it hundreds of years later because of the legacy of this person and this warrior in this battle. It's pretty fucking cool when you think about it, right? So what do you want? Right? Now, again, I can't answer that question for you. This is where you need to do a lot of self-reflection in this phase and say, why do I wake up at the time that I wake up? What do I do? Why do I work out? Why do I drive that car? Right? You really need to get deep with yourself and be alone and answer these questions openly and honestly and as transparently as you can with yourself. And then you'll start getting to the root of your thought process and finding out, like, man, all the decisions that I'm making are based on other people's beliefs and philosophies, not my own. And you can start to reconstruct it and build yourself up. Right? This will give you such a level of fulfillment and clarity and peace and tranquility. My God. When you hit this phase, geez, life now takes a different color and experience. This is why I live every day with a smile on my face, enthusiastically, and to such a degree, y'all, that you see it. People accuse me of being on drugs, cocaine, meth, all that nonsense. Now, they're haters and they're trolls. But a lot of it is my enthusiasm and energy for life. It's just people can't fathom it. Oh, it's got to be fake. Oh, he's just saying that. It's like, nah, dude. It's legit. That's what it is. This is how I feel. Because I'm clear about me and what I want to do and where I'm going and who I'm going to help and what's going to happen along the way. And right, all that is crystal fucking clear. And helping other people achieve that, especially my students, is amazing. Now, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? Just like I named this podcast. And that question needs to ring in your mind forever and ever and ever until you come up with answers. And guess what? Once you do find an answer, those answers are going to continue to change. Why? You grow and you evolve. You grow and you evolve. You grow and you evolve. And it happens all the time. So this isn't like you answer it once and you're done, like school. No. It continues on and on, which is why you need to have this assessment weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, to make sure that you're still on your path. It was through doing this that I realized, hey, you know what? Not interested in the car stuff as much anymore. I want to move. I want to, open up new businesses. I want to try new endeavors. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to change this about me. I want to explore this subject. I want to read this. I want to educate myself on this, right? I think I've changed my beliefs about this. I think I've upgraded my philosophy about this. That's not going to happen unless you check. You got to put pen to paper. You got to check with yourself all the time. And you have to constantly understand and know that these documents, right, whether you have them written or not, and you better have them fucking written. If you don't, you're fucking up. These are working documents that change. Subject to change. I would write that down on your notes. What I want to do, and then in parentheses, subject to change. Because it is subject to change. We're dynamic. Life is dynamic. There's no stagnant state in the universe. We know this. The best part about this is there's no right or wrong answer for this. Only you know, and it will click with you when you do this correctly and enough. But it's one of those age-old questions that most people will never answer. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Where am I at now? Where do I want to go? What is it going to take? Who am I going to become along the way? Who's going to be with me? Who's no longer going to be with me? What am I willing to sacrifice? What am I not willing to sacrifice? What's my behavior going to be like? What do I love about myself? What would I like to change about myself? What can I not change about myself that I'm willing to accept and finally move on? Right? All very important questions. So it's time to reflect, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go into self-reflection and say, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Is what I'm doing today, right now in this moment, getting me closer to where I want to be or farther? And for many of you who are slacking off, it's getting you farther from where you want to be. And when you connect with that, you'll stop slacking off. But again, I can't do that for you. You need to do it for you. By you, for you. That's the cheat code right there, if there is a cheat code. I can figure it out. I know what moves me. I've identified with it. I'm close with it. I've connected it. And now every single thing that I do, every thought, every idea, every conversation, every action gets me closer to where I want to go. Therefore, by me not taking the action, I'm selling myself short, lying to myself, and hurting myself, which I refuse to do. Period. Point blank. End of story. That's it. So you're going to step up? All right? This is what I love about especially what I teach is, yes, I open the door for you, but you have to walk through. The people who study under me and get close to me are the ones who are willing to do the work and understand that I can't fucking hold your hand through everything and you got to do it. That's the real way of the warrior too, the spiritual warrior. The warrior scholar, which is what we are. That's what I am. Are you? If you are, then step up. If you're not, okay. Figure out what you are and walk that path. That's it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.